15. Now Gyges also, as soon as he became king, led an army against Miletus and Smyrna, and he took the lower town of Colofton. But no other great deed did he do in his reign, which lasted 38 years. Therefore we will pass him by with no more mention than has already been made. And I will speak now of Ardis the son of Gyges, who became king after Gyges. He took Prene and made an invasion against Miletus. And while he was ruling over Sardis, the Cimmerians, driven from their abodes by the nomad Scythians, came to Asia and took Sardis except the citadel. 16. Now when Ardis had been king for 49 years, Sadeatus his son succeeded to his kingdom, and reigned 12 years. And after him Aletes. This last made war against Cyaxares the descendant of Dyax and against the Medes, and he drove the Cimmerians forth out of Asia, and he took Smyrna which had been founded from Colofton, and made an invasion against Clazomene. From this he returned not as he desired, but with great loss. During his reign however he performed other deeds very worthy of mention as follows. 17. He made war with those of Miletus, having received this war as an inheritance from his father. For he used to invade their land and besiege Miletus in the following manner. Whenever there were ripe crops upon the land, then he led an army into their confines, making his march to the sound of pipes and harps and flutes both of male and female tone. And when he came to the Milesian land, he neither pulled down the houses that were in the fields, nor set fire to them nor tore off their doors, but let them stand as they were. The trees however and the crops that were upon the land he destroyed, and then departed by the way he came. For the men of Miletus had command of the sea, so that it was of no use for his army to blockade them. And he abstained from pulling down the houses to the end that the Milesians might have places to dwell in while they sowed and tilled the land, and by the means of their labor he might have somewhat to destroy when he made his invasion. 18. Thus he continued to war with them for 11 years. And in the course of these years the Milesians suffered 2 great defeats, once when they fought a battle in the district of Limenion in their own land, and again in the plain of Meander. Now for 6 of the 11 years Sadeatus the son of Ardis was still ruler of the Lydians, the same who was wont to invade the land of Miletus at the times mentioned. For this Sadeatus was he who first began the war. But for the 5 years which followed these first 6 the war was carried on by Aletes the son of Sadeatus, who received it as an inheritance from his father, as I have already said, and applied himself to it earnestly. And none of the Ionians helped those of Miletus bear the burden of this war except only the men of Chios. These came to their aid to pay back like with like, for the Milesians had formerly assisted the Chians throughout their war with the people of Erythrae. 19. Then in the 12th year of the war, when standing corn was being burnt by the army of the Lydians, it happened as follows. As soon as the corn was kindled, it was driven by a violent wind and set fire to the temple of Athene surnamed of Asessos. And the temple being set on fire was burnt down to the ground. Of this no account was made then. But afterwards when the army had returned to Sardis, Aletes fell sick, and as his sickness lasted long, he sent messengers to inquire of the oracle at Delphi, either being advised to do so by someone, or because he himself thought it best to send and inquire of the god concerning his sickness. But when these arrived at Delphi, The Pythian prophetess said that she would give them no answer, until they should have built up again the temple of Athene which they had burned at Asessos in the land of Miltos.